Like, if he bumps up and would somehow beat Gable Steveson at heavyweight, that would set the world on fire. Is it a possibility for super matches to happen this college wrestling season? And I ask you that because we haven't seen a super match in quite some time. Like, it's honestly been too many years since we've seen a super match. Now, what exactly is a super match? A match between a top-ranked wrestler and another top-ranked wrestler where one bumps up. So somebody goes from 125 up to 133. Somebody goes from 141 up to 149. Something along that is what a super match is. So we have seen the super matches over the years. We've seen Seth Gross bump up, and he's wrestled Bryce Meredith. That was one of the original recent super matches. Sebastian Rivera bumped up and wrestled Steveson Miocic. That was another recent super match, and I think it was one of the most recent super matches. Those were a lot of fun, and they were seen as some of the best super matches that there were, like some of the best wrestling matches those years. So what super matches do you want to see for this upcoming season? Now, one of the ones that I think, and we're going to get started off here heavy, I think it's possible that AJ Ferrari and Gable Steveson could have a massive super match. Why? This is the battle of the entertainers. The battle of the entertainers with AJ Ferrari and Gable Steveson. Now, I'm wondering, first of all, right off the bat, I'm wondering, like, is there a way for them to make some sort of NIL deal where they get money for promoting this match? I know that there's some stipulation on that, but is that possible? Now, Ferrari, like, out of this scenario, he has the most to gain. Like, if he bumps up and would somehow beat Gable Steveson at heavyweight, that would set the world on fire. This match in general, I think, would set the world on fire just because they're both such strong personalities, such big on social media as well, and that would be, just so much fun to watch. Now, here's the thing. This is why I think it can be legitimate. Look at the schedule. Oklahoma State and Minnesota are wrestling this year on November 20th. Is it a coincidence that they're on the schedule? I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting. They didn't wrestle last year. The last time they did wrestle was the 2019-2020 season, so that would be absolutely epic if they did wrestle. And if that actually did happen. The next one, Vito Rougeout versus RBY. The reason I think this would be interesting, now Vito would have to bump up from 25 to 133. And the last time they wrestled was actually in freestyle. You see in this video here where they wrestled at the U23 World Team Trials. Never wrestled in college. So imagine that match though. These two. Vito, he kind of beat up RBY in this freestyle match. I think he may have ended up like attacking him in that freestyle match. Just was able to turn him a few times, get exposure, but they are two like kind of funky, fun wrestlers when they get out there on the mat. They both have a very unique style. That they're freestyle, more like styles, but it brings a lot of fun to folk style, of course. And if these two wrestled, and it could happen, they wrestled at the National Collegiate Duels, Cornell and Penn State. It's possible. We don't know exactly what the pools or the brackets are yet, but it's possible that they could wrestle at the National Collegiate Duels in December, which I'm really looking forward to. The next is Pat Glory and Sebastian Rivera. You want to talk about, I mentioned the super match between Rivera and Glory, Rivera and Steveson Miocic. Princeton and Rutgers are wrestling on February 18th. So this is another one that could legitimately happen. But in that Rivera match, which I'm showing right here over here, like he bumped up and it just, it wasn't really like, it was fun, but he kind of got beat up on because he was bumping up from that lower weight. So I think even though Rutgers and Princeton, they are wrestling on February 18th, I think this one's a little bit less likely to happen just because of how late the dual meet is in the season. It's less likely just because of injury. If Glory bumped up 25 to 33 and got injured, like that just screw over his whole season. He'd be out of the season. That would be, so unfortunate for him. But they have wrestled before. They wrestled back at 125 when Rivera was all the way back down to 125 pounds, and he won 14-9. So maybe Glory wants to bump up and get some revenge, get vengeance on Sebastian Rivera. I think that would be, very interesting and a fun match for sure. And the next match is I threw this one in here mostly because I wanted to throw some Pac-12 and ACC. I know a lot of people talk like Fanco, just Big Ten. No, I like giving attention to these other conferences as well. Anthony Valencia and Hayden Hailey. Now, the thing with them, Valencia, who's 65, would be bumping up to wrestle Hailey, which is kind of funny because Hailey was at 157 last year, so it would have been a reverse match in the past, but there's not like a lot of beef between them or anything. It's not like they've wrestled in the past. It's like, I just think looking at who they are, I think it'd be very interesting. Arizona State and NC State are at the National Collegiate Duels. Like I said, we don't know the pools, so they could wrestle. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. And I just am wondering, like, at the National Collegiate Duels, and this kind of brings me into like just a different conversation, is in college wrestling, typically it's you wrestle 120, you weigh 125, that's what you're wrestling. 33, that's what you wrestle the whole, like in high school, you switch up weights. Some guys bump up, some guys don't bump down, and it's just a little bit different than college. I wonder if the National Collegiate Duels, if there will be any of that, because there's a lot on the line with a National Dual Championship, but is it possible that teams do bump up or down, and maybe that's a scenario where not just for a fun super match, but maybe to like actually win the duel, to actually get more points? Maybe that's possible. I don't know. I think it's definitely in the cards that could happen. And the next one, and I know that there's a lot going on in the chat right now and in the comments, but like Sammy Sasso and Austin OConnor. Now, they wrestled last year at NCAAs whenever Austin OConnor got the better of Sammy Sasso, even with that very, very close takedown at the end. And I'll leave that up to you to judge. I thought it was close. It was close. But is it possible that could happen, that they do wrestle? So November 7th, it's one of the first duels of the season for North Carolina, with North Carolina versus Ohio State. Could we see Sasso bump up from 49 to 57 just to take on Austin OConnor, just to try to get that revenge at the beginning of the year and show that he can be the better wrestler? Now, it'd be a little bit tougher, of course, with him bumping up a weight class, but I think that'd be a lot of fun, and it would give the fans something to seriously be excited about. And you want to talk about something fans would be excited about? Alex Marinelli versus Mikayla Lewis. This is the super match that fans want to see. 165 up to 174. Marinelli versus Mikayla Lewis. Now, Mikayla is bumping up already to 174 pounds, and that's why that's kind of would make it a super match. And Marinelli would have to chase him up a weight class. I don't know if he's willing to do that or not. The last match they wrestled was at the NCAA quarterfinals back in, 2019, whenever Mikayla won 3-1. So you better believe that Marinelli probably wants some sort of revenge on him. Both teams are at the National Collegiate Duels in December, and I'm hoping that we get to see that super match. I want to see the Bull go full strength from 65 to 74, take on Mikayla Lewis in the upcoming season. What super matches do you want to see this year? There are really endless possibilities of somebody bumping up to wrestle another weight, so I'm interested to see what you have to say. And if you're looking for rankings for every single conference before the season gets here, you're going to want to check out this resource right here. This will take you to a page where you can download my Fanco Wrestling rankings for free. That's all 78 D1 teams, every single conference, whether you support Big Ten, Pac-12, ACC, you're going to get little tidbits of information and the rankings you need to know before the season gets here. You can check that out for free right here.